Gotta pan the audience.
Beans!
Good job. You have to do both? That's awesome.
No. This is my persuasive speech on how meat is better for you than not for you. For many years now, it's been said that eating red meat causes serious health problems. Scientific studies done recently have proven that this is not true. Eating a healthy amount of red meat can actually benefit your body and mind. It has been a myth that red meat rots in the colon and is not properly digested. This also is not entirely true. Through this speech and this slideshow, I'll show you pros and cons of meat eaters versus vegetarians, or as they call it in this speech, and many forms of science, omnivores versus vegetarians and vegans. Another argument that many come up with is red meat is to blame for higher risk of heart problems, type 2 diabetes, and many other symptoms. Between meat consumption, heart disease, and diabetes, they find a strong link from processed meat, not unprocessed meat, which is most red meat that should be eaten instead of like McDonald's and Burger King, Whataburger, all these other fast food places that process their meat. You should not be going to eat those. Red meat also provides your body with B6 and B12. Vitamin deficiencies such as B12 deficiency cause a serious range of health problems like premature aging, neurological disorders, brain fog, memory problems, congestive heart failure, and congestive decline in the heart. They cause strokes and other vascular problems due to elevated hormones. Developmental learning disabilities in children. Impaired immune deficiencies, autoimmune disease, and cancer. Male and female infertility, and numerous other systems. This slide here shows the benefits of eating meat. Red meat is the great source of vital minerals such as zinc, iron, magnesium. It's much easier for the body to absorb these minerals than it is from grains such as fruits and vegetables. Beef and lamb provide you with protein for muscles, provide you with healthy hormones, and have anti-cancer effects in fighting off pathogens. The B12 that is found in some plants is well studied that 52% of vegetarians and 7% of vegans are B12 deficient. These studies were ran by vegetarians, and there's many studies that are run by both. The Mayo Clinic ran a study that they found 60% of vegetarians and 83% of vegans, compared to just 5% of omnivores, had this B12 deficiency. There's a huge game-changing difference. This means conventional testing is missing many of the vegetarians and vegans with B12 deficiency. This is especially important that B12 can take years to become clinically evident. Deficiency set in long before obvious symptoms appear. And some of the most serious effects of B12 deficiency, such as nerve damage, are irreversible. Some of the reasons why vegetarianism is bad, or veganism as they also call it, meat is a natural part of a balanced diet. You have to have meat. You can't just eat vegetables. You have to have some kind of protein. Meat is useful in ensuring good balance in energy, protein, vitamins, and minerals in your diet. If we all were vegetarians, it would be no fertilizer and then eventually no plants. If we all consumed plants and all the farmland was used to raise livestock, they would be used to raise edible plants. This would mean no livestock and in turn no fertilizer from the livestock. In long term, there would be no plants or plants only raised on artificial processed fertilizer, which means polluted waters. Strong argument against eating meat is a great amount of food and energy is wasted every time one animal eats another animal. A 9-to-1 ratio. But in the case of cows that are grass-fed, they are eating biomass in it, which can clean the food categories. In addition, the energy will grow. Energy to grow, venue of grass, and food energy would also consume. Okay. In other words, grass-fed beef is mighty tasty. Go next slide. The sources of vitamins that come from meat compared to just eating vegetables is a higher value of B12 and B6 to prevent diseases that keep healthy nervous system. Omega-3 fatty acids, essential to have healthier brain and heart, contains a higher value of protein. This is used throughout the whole body. Phosphorus and iron are used to bone inflammation and healthy immune system and the production of red blood cells. Intelligence in meat. Past studies have shown that our ancestors had not eaten red meat. The human brain would be a fourth of the size as it is today. During human evolution, our adaptation of red meat and vital protein and fats it provides is one of the keys. The reason behind rapid growth in the intelligence and the brain capacity. Now the cons. I know that some people are disgusted with the thought of killing animals in order to eat. However, not only does meat provide our bodies in some positive health benefits, it also helps with our population. Several states have serious consequences putting places for people who trophy hunt. This means they hunt only for bragging rights. In many of the 48 states, this is illegal. Hunting also has certain rules to protect the animals from becoming extinct. Overpopulation has a serious problem too. Not enough food for the animals, not enough places for them to have homes. I would rather them be hunted and used to feed the hungry than starve themselves to death. These are some of the facts that vegetarians use, saying environmental impacts of raising the animals for the meat. It contributes to global warming, land degeneration, population of the animal is too low, so they think they need to be saved, and a lack of biodiversity. Statistics are only 26% of the land is used for grazing. That's for animals. The animals make fertilizer so they can grow their plants. 33% of arable land used for growing food for livestock. 70% of deforesting land in the Amazon is used for livestock pastures, which was found that was not true. Later study says 70% of the land was used for lumber, and there's no animals being grown on. They're barren land now. 70% of all grazing land considered degraded from overgrazing. One of the biggest diseases caused from vegetarians is osteoporosis. It's a bone disease where there's too much bone or too little bone. This is caused by not getting the right nutrients, the right vitamins from the meat, the unprocessed meat, for proper growth in the high protein diets and the lack of calcium in the bones. Go to the next one. Now, vegetarians have done studies that heart disease causes red meat. Heart disease is caused by red meat. Studies suggest that red meat is bad for your heart, but not all the reasons you would expect. People think that red meat, such as steak, hamburger, lamb, etc., increases the risk of heart rate, high saturated fats, and cholesterol. However, studies show that the L-creatine, which is abundant in red meat, is the leading culprit of this disease. It is the leading culprit of this disease, caused by processed meats, such as the hamburgers, or the unprocessed meat where people go out and eat a 72-ounce steak because they think, hey, I'm going to get a free meal from it. It's not always the case. This concludes my speech. I've given you some pros, some cons, to explain to you why red meat is beneficial, and you should be eating it in small portions. Not going out and eat the 72-ounce steak and think it's good for you, or eat red meat every day. A mix of meat and vegetables are the reason people stay healthy and have a good diet. Thank you for your time. Pan the audience again.
I didn't see my son's better than again.